Jay Collins, thank you so much for coming on the Birdman show. I know you're really busy, so let's just jump right into it. One thing I've noticed at your events is you don't have any Green Berets there, and you have no Green Beret associations that are publicly endorsing you. Now, do you think that has something to do with the 2 Green Berets that you betrayed in the Florida State Guard?
We're not going to discuss that.
Well, the 1 Green Beret that you betrayed was actually the Command Sergeant Major of the Special Missions Unit who lives right here in the Panhandle of Florida. And here's what he had to say about you on his social media.
I'm sorry, Jay Collins. Green Beret or no Green Beret, you should not have asked to call off the dogs. You know it's not going to happen. Did you forget where you came from? Did you forget the caliber of men you stood shoulder to shoulder with? You're just as complicit as Mark Theme is, if you ask me, because you did absolutely nothing about it.
Guys, give me a break on this. Good Lord.
The other Green Beret that you portrayed was the Central Branch Commander, which is Tampa, Florida, and he was a former Delta Force Green Beret, and you actually went to him for advice and wanted to know what was going on with the corruption in the State Guard. And when he told you bro to bro, you then went and told the director who was committing the corruption, and then he then fired and demoted that Delta Force Green Beret, and you did nothing. And then on top of that, the Special Missions Unit Commander, Lieutenant Colonel Bowen, who just recently got a leadership award for his actions in Hurricane Helene, he got completely kicked out of the Florida State Guard over this. You talk about tough leadership. How come you didn't stand up and do something about it?
Let me finish talking, man. Please, come on. Look, the reality is,
your polling numbers are very low with the veteran community. And what I see a lot in the comment section is it's because you betrayed your oath to America for defending the Constitution. Let me play this video clip real quick.
You don't have the right to harm other people with your words, and you don't have the right to say things that have really negative, really horrible meanings.
I mean, clearly you're against the First Amendment right there, but in that clip you were talking about anti-Semitism in Israel, and you seem more focused on Israel than you do Florida. Jay, real quick, will you say Jesus Christ is king?
I'm a retired Green Beret.
That's interesting.
Once government starts reaching in and clawing back, it never slows down.
Jay, I have questions about your recent lawsuit against governor candidate James Fishback. You paid one expert witness $50,000 for his testimony, and you spent I don't know how much more on attorneys and legal fees. Now, my question to you is, was that taxpayer money or was that your personal money?
The simple fact is this, follow the money. Brother, you know this. You grew up in a small town, just like I did.
Where was it? Where did I grow up?
I think you grew up in a small town in Florida.
Where did I grow up, Jay? Where did I grow up? Here in Florida.
I think you called Madison home, right?
I grew up here in Florida, right? All right, case closed. Drop the lawsuit.
Oh, really? James, let me be clear on this, buddy. We're not going to discuss that, and the reality is...
Why not? Why don't we discuss the fact that a Montana man hired a California lawyer to sue Governor DeSantis' administration to remove a fourth-generation Floridian from your ballot? You're trying to steal the election with Byron Donalds.
Because the reality is, this isn't about large clicks. It's not about the games you play.
You literally just said I'm from Florida, and now you're suing me because I'm not from Florida. Will you drop the lawsuit, yes or no?
James,
you're trying to steal the election like the Democrats did to President Trump.
There you go again. James, you're killing me, man.
I also find it a little strange that you're suing a person who was born and raised in Florida, a fourth-generation Floridian, when you yourself are not from Florida and you just moved here in 2019. Now, something about that. You say that you're not a politician, but when you moved here in 2019, you and your wife both ran for office in 2020. So it kind of seems like you just moved to Florida to get into politics, not to serve Florida. And I find that just the timing very interesting. And also, you just became eligible to run for governor 6 months ago.
It's interesting to me that you're having this conversation with James about residency. As you know, you have to live here 7 years, but curiously, you've only made that requirement yourself as of January. You only moved into the state in 2019.
Hey, I want to show you a clip of you having a discussion about only making $28,000 a year as a state senator and joking that it doesn't even put the fuel in your F-150, which is a very macho truck. But you also talk about the nonprofit you work for, and you make it sound like you're just barbecuing chicken after hurricanes. However, this nonprofit pays you over $230,000 a year. And when you became senator, 2 weeks after you became senator, you awarded them their first state contract in 2022. And since 2022, you have awarded them over $16 million in contracts. That's $4 million a year for barbecue.
Told me I was going to join a nonprofit, I would have thought it's veteran focused at first. I actually serve people barbecue meals after hurricanes and wildfires. Is as a state senator, you don't just do that. You get paid like $28,000. That didn't even pay for the gas I spent for the year, right? Just to be honest, I drive an F-150, and I still work the nonprofit.
Yeah.
So
That's a bad looking image right there, and that's AI. And I know you're all for AI data centers, so maybe after this you won't be for AI data centers, but it's an interesting photo of you burning or cooking your Green Beret for money. And another thing I noticed is your name's not even Jay, it's Jared Collins. But you think this could be a reason that the Green Berets and the special operation community and all the veterans in the state of Florida, and there's a lot of them, to include the state guard members, are not supporting you?
There you go, man. You're killing me, Smalls.
Jay, Ron DeSantis picked you to be his lieutenant governor, but to this day, he has still not endorsed you to become governor. Do you think that is because you betrayed him the first few weeks you became the lieutenant governor?
Again, you're playing games. Listen, now let me finish. Look, man, it is very clear what the problem is here.
Sure, Ron DeSantis was not happy with those text messages. I bet he felt a little betrayed, probably the same way those Green Berets felt betrayed. Now, question for the Floridians. If you are willing to betray Ron DeSantis and your brotherhood, the Green Berets, how can Floridians trust you to become their next governor?
don't BS them. So say what you mean what you say, and then get things done. It is that simple.
So Jay, even to this day, you have still not addressed the Florida State Guard corruption, and Florida is less safe because of that. We went from around 1,000 members in the State Guard to, I believe, under 300 members. We don't even have enough pilots to fly all the aircraft, and in the Special Missions Unit, we've lost over half of those members, which is hundreds of years of experience. So I hear you talk about these tiger teams that you have that are investigating and looking for ways to strengthen the safety in Florida, but you have actually weakened Florida. What do you have to say about that?
Have to be a man of action, to step in the breach and be bold enough to lead. You know, damn the torpedoes, step up and do what's necessary, right? Courage matters. Courage is contagious. And we're doing a tiger team focused on gaps in our safety and security as a state, how we can enhance that and keep our people safer.
Anything that you have accomplished by yourself without Ron DeSantis?
This.
Lead, follow, or get out of the way, right? That's the mindset. And I agree with you. I want veterans to step up and lead. I do.
Isn't that interesting, Jay? Because when Lieutenant Colonel Bowen, before he was fired and kicked out of the State Guard for speaking out on the corruption, he actually spoke to you for over 1 hour on the phone, and you did nothing.
We're not going to discuss that. And
When the Command Sergeant Major of the Special Missions Unit, a former Green Beret, approached you in Defuniak Springs at one of your events, you refused to even take his question. So if you won't even take questions from your brotherhood, how can regular Floridians expect you to answer their questions?
I'm a retired Green Beret.
Jay, if you can't even run a state guard of less than 1,000 members, how are you going to run a state of over 23 million people?
Let me finish talking, man. Please, come on.
I want to show you this clip where James Fishback asked you if you voted for Ron DeSantis in 2018, and clearly you did not, because you didn't even move to Florida until the end of 2019. But it was your demeanor after he asked you that. It was like you were going to try to make up a lie and then you realized you couldn't, and you got kind of strange on camera.
It's quick show of hands if you voted for Ron DeSantis in 2018. Jay, why didn't you vote for Ron DeSantis in 2018?
Well, sorry, I wasn't really listening to your question.
Did you vote for Ron DeSantis in 2018, yes or no?
In 2018?
Yes. That's a no. That's a no.
Yeah, so, the fact is, James...
Jay, this has been very eye-opening, and one piece of advice I would give is I would probably take a little bit less TRT. You seem a little amped up, but for all my Floridians out there, they should really do their research on who Jay Collins is, because when you hear Green Beret, you automatically think, oh, this guy's a war hero, and he has to be a good guy. He's Special Forces. But I can tell you, as a special operator and from someone, a former Special Missions Unit member, Jay Collins is 100%, without a doubt, not the person you want to be leading Florida. I wouldn't even let Jay Collins lead an HOA.